It is June 28th, 2021. This is Atlanta United FC Weekly, a Home Before Dark podcast. Ooh. Ooh. Okay.
Let's go Stone Cold Steve Austin this boot.
Oh my gosh. So I see new drinks in both of your hands. I recognize Kevin's is the lavender kombucha from Golda, Cultured South, right? What is it? The lavender lemonade? That stuff is so good. That stuff is so good. And local.
How many grams of carbs in that, Kev?
It's like 9.
It's not for the whole can. This is one of the least like sugar and carbs. So it's only 2 grams of carbs, 1 gram of sugar.
Really interesting.
Yeah, 10 calories. Yeah, dude, it's the best for kombucha that doesn't have a bunch of extra shit in it. So yeah.
What are you drinking, Dan?
I'm drinking a Scofflaw hard seltzer, tropical pug.
So Scofflaw makes their own seltzer too? Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's
getting actually have some extra one. They've got some like mimosa seltzers. I've got some of those in the fridge too.
Yeah, Mandy's a big fan of the peach, and I just drink whatever's left in the variety box.
Yeah, I hear you.
Speaking of peaches, you boys are both peaches in my book.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Yeah. I'm drinking a matcha latte. I bought a pack of matcha powder. I've been on a matcha kick, and I don't like paying $7 a glass of matcha anymore from Starbucks. So gonna start just getting jazzed at home. Thank you guys for tuning in on this lovely Monday evening. I'm Tim Herb. As always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Mr. Kevin Bradley, down at the bottom, prominent spot by himself. He gets his own row. If this was Hollywood Squares, he would be who would he be? You'd be Whoopi Goldberg, Kevin.
I know.
Yeah.
It's wild stuff, man.
You know, big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill. We got
the beard.
We got Dan James to my right.
Hello. To your left. Wait, what?
Yeah, I don't know. It's mirrored.
Stage left.
I don't understand. Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. We have Max Plays Games saying, I'm disappointed in your Twitter profile picture.
Don't worry, I already fixed it before we went live. It's already been taken care of.
Boom. Who was that? Max Plays Games? Get over it, Max.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Just like the rest of the show, Dan says something, I'll correct it. Just like the profile picture. It's been resolved. Don't worry. Nobody else will have to deal with it.
We got Anthony Neitzel, a.k.a. Tony, out in good old Portland, Oregon, watching us live. I miss you, Tony. It's been fucking ever. We got Brittany S., Nathan Explosion. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm sure the others will start trickling in. Bradley D., I'm pretty sure that's just Kevin's burner at this point. the Bradley D.
After dark.
That's his After Dark pseudonym, yeah. Oh, Kendrick Brock saying, I heard y'all are huge Kubo fans. Kubo and the Two Strings was a fantastic movie.
Isn't there some sort of dice game called Kubo?
Kubo and the Two Shanks.
Yeah, he'd be so lucky to connect on a ball like that.
Yeah, exactly. Kubo and the 2 knee shots.
That's crazy. Tony's saying it's 113 in Portland right now. We were trying to watch we were watching the Olympic trials last night. Angie and I were, and they postponed the track and field because they've been doing the track and field at Bend in Bend, Oregon. No, in Eugene at University of Oregon's campus, and they had to postpone it till like 9 at night or something like that. It didn't come on until midnight, which is crazy.
Yeah,
it's insane. Of all the places, like you thought, okay, let's schedule in the Pacific Northwest in June for these Olympic trials. I think we're going to be pretty safe. We're going to be good. We'll be all right. It'll rain, whatever. We'll get some relief. Oh, it was in Eugene. My bad. And no, so I don't know. It's nuts, man. 113 degrees is crazy.
Anthony Neitzel saying, wasn't Kubo a horror movie about a dog? That was Cujo.
Yeah, Stephen King. He could remake it. He could remake it with Kubo Torres, the way that...
I'm going to Photoshop. A movie poster tonight.
Thank you, Tony.
I'm definitely getting to work on that. Can you just Google Cujo movie poster? I just want to see what it looks like.
It's even spelled with a C. For some reason, I thought it was spelled with
dude, just pull up the like. I'm just gonna do it with his face.
Hold on.
You just Google image search Cujo movie poster. Just find any.
That's what he looks like in front of goal.
I'm more scared of Kubo in front of goal than I am of Cujo the dog.
Yeah, that's a very surprised looking face. It's like, oh my gosh, I never thought I'd be
I
here.
gotta do something with my body.
Oh, it's kind of like whenever that perfectly weighted cross from Brooks Lennon came in on whatever that was. I guess it was last Sunday and hit him in the face because he's like, "Oh shit!" I wasn't expecting to hit that.
Oh, we got a bozo alert. I think.
Oh, bozo alert.
We had 10 goals this week. How many did Atlanta United have? I missed their matches. I think most of the team missed their matches this week too.
I think most of the fan base missed the one on Saturday.
No kidding. No kidding. I went this weekend. It was my first game since the start of COVID. So it was it's weird being back, man. I don't know how to put it. I mean, everything's been replaced and rearranged as far as where the tailgates and stuff are. I'm in different seats now than I was a couple of years ago because I changed my seating placement, but it's been 2 years since I did that, and it's weird, man. It just feels a little bit different. I don't know how to describe it. The atmosphere and people are still excited. Don't get me wrong. I was excited to be there, but just after not being there for so long, it definitely felt a little strange.
The crowd looked pretty sparse on TV. Was it as sparse as it
Yeah,
seemed?
yeah. It was. I mean, it was peppered throughout. I mean, it certainly wasn't a full stadium by any stretch. It wasn't like there were huge sections without people seated, but there were definitely empty seats throughout the stadium, which that was another thing that I've just not been used to seeing. So, and I don't know if it's because of the team's performance or just because of COVID and everything else. But like I said, it was just a strange feeling overall.
On the TV feed, the crowd sounded pretty loud. I don't know if I'm just not used to listening to sports events with crowds right now, but they seem pretty loud anyway.
Oh yeah, I mean like I said, the crowd was. I mean, the supporters section was completely full. You know, I mean, it was great from that standpoint. It was just like I said, it was just very different. That's the only way I can say it. But got to see some familiar faces out there. Saw Pierce out there and Kelly and Christian and our boy Sean Mack. Trying to think who else. I think that was it. I think that was everybody I ran into. But yeah, it's good to at least see some familiar faces and stuff too, which was great. So
was it good different or bad different or just
different, man? It was just like, it wasn't bad. I'm not saying like I said, I mean, the performance on the field was bad, but the atmosphere and everything else, it was just different. And I think it's just a combination of things. I think it's just like going to a grocery store feels different now, right? Like going to live sporting events feels different at a larger magnitude, just like being in a large crowd feels different than being in a grocery store on a bigger magnitude, right? So it's like those things combined based on everything else that's taken place, not counting what's happening with the team and all that. It's a strange experience, but it's nice to be back and that fans are showing up in whatever capacity. So,
yeah.
And the hot dogs are back. I did have 2 and a slice of pizza just to make sure I did my part. So
yeah. I appreciate it. Just
got that sausage pizza. Just looks like a can of Alpo on top. Got all that kibble. It's so good.
It's just chunky sirloin burger on a pizza.
Oh yeah. It's good. It's good.
Oh, Stephen Perales was saying he's not gonna be able to be on for long, but he does make a point. He's over Kubo. He's ready to sell Barco, and sooner rather than later, damn.
Was he making a comment about damn being sold too, or just be like, damn, this sucks?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to sell. Who are we going to sell Kubo and Dam to? Those are they're write-offs.
At this rate, who are we going to sell Barco to?
But I mean, Kubo.
30 million.
Fuck me, right?
30 million. 30 million, and Franco's got to play because he's a DP.
Oh my god!
Boy, this show has had some great takes.
Hey, we were right about Bello, though.
Oh yeah.
And there are rumors coming out yesterday that there are teams that are interested. I think Galatasaray wants to bring him over.
Yeah.
Is Yedlin still over there? Would they have American fullbacks?
I think he is still over there, but didn't he get injured?
I'm not sure, but
I don't know. His time at Galatasaray has not been good.
Oh, it hasn't. Okay.
I got a question for you guys. Everybody's going off about who should be sold. I mean, Max plays games saying might get flack, but he thinks Guzan too can't sell, and then Anthony Neitzel can't sell Dam or Jose too. No one will buy injured players. All that said, what if this team went through what was that 2017 Atlanta Braves complete roster overhaul, and you keep one Freddie Freeman? Who's your Freddie Freeman on the roster right now?
Santiago Sosa. That's it.
Yeah.
I think we're all in agreement there.
No, but to that end, though, realistically, realistically to me, it's Miles Robinson, because
it's not a bad choice too, just because of his age and his
you could probably
ceiling.
Yeah, you might be able to coax him into staying into Atlanta. You can't. I don't think you can coax
Santiago Sosa.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if he's not sold this upcoming transfer window.
Yeah.
In fact, I think Sosa is he's going to get sold maybe summer of 2022, potentially. I think Brooks Lennon's a guy who you're going to keep for a while.
Do you think that we keep Joseph, with all things considered? You know, like, he was saying that he wanted to be here, but that was coming off of an MLS Cup win, and it's now been 3 years since, and between injuries and lack of team development or results, do you think his opinion about this team and his tenure here has changed?
I think that I just don't think he's the same guy and is going to come back to be the same guy that we've known him to be, regardless of the amount of service. The way it's going right now, the frustrating thing is with the injury of last year and coming up to speed this year, all the problems that he had with his surgery, going away on international duty. Man, that international duty really sucks. For MLS teams, when you're trying to buy, when you're trying to get really good talent. I was writing down some things before we came on. I was like, how do I feel about Joseph? I mean, I love Joseph, but I would probably move on from him. I'd be okay with that if he moved.
Yeah. A couple people sounding off in the trap. Brittany, yes, yeah, he's staying for sure. Joseph, that is.
Yeah.
Brent Crawford, Joseph is comfortable here. He won't leave, and I can't see the team getting rid of him. I don't either. I'm just throwing things out there, And I think all of Dan's points are completely valid and things that have gone through my mind as well. Like, I don't know if 2018 Joseph comes back. Honestly, I just don't know.
I'm trying to remember. I can't remember who I'm thinking of to compare him to, but I feel like he's got that character about him that I think that he is going to want to repay. It sounds like it's the wrong thing, but like repay Atlanta United for the patience and everything with his injury and getting him back to full health and everything to let him, show us what he's capable of. I honestly don't. That is a good shout, and I think it's a matter of we just haven't seen him on the field much lately. And I don't know. Like, it's somebody. What is it? Brittany said he ain't dead. Right? It's like, dang, he ain't dead.
No,
we're saying Sosa to build around, but in actuality, I don't know that Joseph actually does want to move on, man. Like, I don't know. It's tough, man. I mean, Brent he's comfortable here. He's said he doesn't want to leave. He's got a contract for at least another couple years, at least.
Yeah, I think it was 5 years last year whenever they gave it to him, or maybe 2 years ago. I forget.
Yeah, it's of all the people that we have on the roster, there are only a few people on the roster that I wouldn't see necessarily moving on because of their age and because of the journey of their career to get where they are. So, like, I think Joseph may be an example of that, because, I mean, to Dirty Bird Person's point. He's saying y'all acting like he's 31. He's not. He's still young, but at the same time, he's not a spring chicken. He's not like a young prospect, and he spent time over in Switzerland. He spent time in Italy, and he's come back, or he's come to the U.S. and he's happy here. He's playing well, and you have guys like Mo Adams, who I think is another guy that you could probably keep around for a long time. I think Anton Walks. I know he's young, but I look at him as like a career MLS guy. Yeah. Like I can see him sticking around on this team. There are a lot of players that that are young enough to maybe pawn off onto somebody. Like I don't know if Jürgen Damm's too much of damaged goods at this point to move on to anybody. Yeah, I mean and this is something I want to talk to you guys about later, but he's $1.5 million. I don't know how much he is against the actual cap, but being on $1.5 million a year in MLS and just being constantly injured and then ineffective whenever they come on for the most part is very frustrating.
Well, he came here on a free, so he's probably, if he's on a 2-year contract, what's that, like 600,000-700,000 towards the cap maybe. So he's a TAM guy because I guess he was a free. So the hit to the cap probably isn't all that bad. Well, actually, that math probably doesn't check out. But he's probably, I just move on from him. Just waive him. I mean,
I don't know how much of a penalty that is against the cap, though. I don't know if MLS. Yeah. I don't know the MLS cap, but like in, let's say, the NBA, like you still, if you release a guy because it's guaranteed money, it's not like the NFL where you can just waive a guy for the most part and not pay. I would imagine MLS has. Mm-hmm. You can't just turn around and say, like, we bought the guy out, bought his contract out, but like it doesn't it doesn't give any cap relief to go spend on somebody else. Where,
well, surely our front office. So Dam is 28, and when he joined us, so this is his second year at Atlanta United, right? So surely the front office, in all their infinite wisdom, didn't give him a 5-year contract or something. I would imagine he's probably on a 2-year. So this could be the last year. Maybe an option for a third, but you ain't picking that up.
Damn, 100%, in my opinion.
So Anthony Neitzel, so who's a bigger bust, Dam or Barco? I would say Dam is, because Barco still has potential. And he still has, I mean, I don't think we're going to make a profit on him. So, I mean, if he goes somewhere else, he's still got a potential of being a guy. Plus, he's too old. I mean, he's too young. What am I talking about? His career's not over.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's a bust as far as Atlanta United is concerned, I guess.
Yeah.
Who has... It's tough for me, man. It's tough. And I think I've been an ardent supporter of Ezequiel Barco since he's been here. I'm the 30 million or bust guy when it comes to Barco, right? And I think I was, heavy on that train whenever we were talking about that, but I think you have to weight it, right? It's not just it's not an apples to apples comparison. And I think that's maybe where it's not fair here to compare who's a bigger bust, because you have guys that are brought in on different wages, different, they mean different things to the team in terms of salary cap. Whereas, I don't know exactly how much counts against with designated players, but the amount of relief that you get, like, that has to be a player that you hit on, it has to be a player that you hit on. And to have him taking up that spot, you talk about going out on international duty and getting injured. I guess he got injured before he went out on international duty, right? This time. Barco's never healthy. He seems to, it's tough. I guess for me, I'm going to have to say to the specific question, I have to say Barco's a bigger bust. There's a bigger sample size. He's been asked to do more. We spent a lot more money on him, and he's taken up an extremely valuable spot on the roster where Jürgen Damm, where it's annoying that he's taking up however much he is, and he's getting paid a lot of money. But
Barco's only a 200,000 cap hit.
No, I know, but that's the thing, is we could get a much more impactful player on the same, he's taking up a very valuable designated player spot because we could use that to.
So is Franco.
Well, no, that's a completely different like that's a different argument.
No, I know.
I still think Barco can right the ship, but like he has to stay healthy. But then again, I don't. It's tough, man. I guess I could waver on this all night long because you take a look at the attacking options that he has to distribute the ball to Barco.
Well, I just feel like my issue with Barco right now is that I can't really understand what his and Moreno's roles are individually. Like they're consistently, it seems like, getting in each other's way or trying to do the same job, and neither one of them excelling in it as a result. Like that's my issue with Barco right now, is that Moreno is clearly a talented player in his own right. And so is Barco, but I feel like for whatever reason, neither one of them can seem to get off the ground running and build any sort of run of play when with both of their talent levels, they should be able to do something in that regard. And like, especially with Moreno, who's wearing the number 10, you would expect him to be doing, playing a 10 role, and he's not, and it's like, and Barco's trying to, and it's just, I feel like they're consistently getting in each other's way, and I just don't know what that identity is supposed to be for them. And as a result, there's so many question marks in the identity on the offensive side of the ball for the team right now due to injury and player turnover and everything else, or lack of skill level, whatever you want to call it. Like, I just think from the midfield forward, there's just I don't know what Barco is, because I don't know what he's supposed to be in this lineup right now. And I don't know that he knows, honestly.
It seems with the Heinze system that they're all just roaming around. Like those attacking front
Right.
3 or 4 are roaming around, and that's what they're trying to do, and to sow confusion within the opposing defense, and then also to be able to latch onto balls coming up from the defense. But and I don't know, this game I wasn't as bad because I watched it after. I didn't watch it live, so I watched it after with the fact, so I didn't have any sort of emotion in it, and I didn't think it was as bad as Twitter was saying. The frustrating thing to me is they'll get these balls and they'll get on breaks, but they just get fouled. And
Right.
and the frustrating thing is, you can talk about, we're getting so many fouls, so many free kicks. We're not doing anything with our free kicks. And the frustrating thing is, you see these fouls, you see these replays, and you're like, that was a real soft foul. And you'd have kept running.
That's my thing. You are absolutely correct that the team consistently gets fouled on the break. However, they are not the types of fouls that would prohibit that break from continuing in the run of play. I would say it's at least a 60-40 or 70-30 split between legitimate fouls that warrant a free kick or them going down 5 yards outside the 18 just to try to set up a free kick on goal, of which Barco has put in one off of a deflection and a volley, none of which that he's put in the run of play. So it's like, if that's a tactic that they're employing, it's clearly not working out. Atlanta is not consistently scoring. If they were a set piece scoring team that had a tactic built around set pieces, okay, do that shit all day long. I'm for it. But they're not that team. That's not what this team is positioned to do with the personnel that they have on the field, and they're just not producing results. So it's like, what are they supposed to do? I don't get it. And I think that those fouls are certainly getting called, and they're happening, and Atlanta United is the most fouled team in the league right now. And the next team, I saw Mike Conti's breakdown and all that. Like, I get it, but Dan, you hit the nail on the head. Those fouls are not of the severity that those players can't play through that and continue a run of play that some sort of chance creation could come off of, especially if you've got numbers forward. Like, that's what was frustrating to me about this weekend, was like, you've got numbers forward and aren't doing anything with it on a consistent basis.
And we've seen a few games where Barco has got the ball, he's in the middle at the top of the 18, and there's been times where George Bellows on an island, man. He's man, just dying.
Or Brooks Lennon this weekend. Like, I can't count how many times Lennon is just over there. Nobody over there. And they just, whenever they play it to him, they don't play it to him in space. They're just playing it to his feet, and it doesn't give him any momentum to move forward. It's just Brittany S. It's like a headless chicken. I agree.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's unbelievably frustrating to watch. And you talk about the fouls, right? I mean, we're not good on set pieces. But the fouls, I mean, a prime example that kind of feeds into that too is that like we have the tendency to even go down too often is Marcelino Moreno's dive, where he could have stayed up, where he got booked for simulation a few weeks ago. He could have stayed up and probably had a chance and shot on goal and gone in. I will say I've been a lot happier with the play that I've seen from Marcelino Moreno of late. Like, I feel like he is starting to get more comfortable. Like you saw, we thought that going into the season, he was going to be our best. At least I did. I thought he was going to be our best offensive player outside of Joseph. Like, I mean, because
our best player one-on-one for sure.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, because I mean, nobody knew what to expect from Joseph, but like you only know what you know from his past resume with us, and that kind of said, trust him until he shows you otherwise. And he's not quite there with the recovery, but Marcelino Moreno, it definitely looked like he had a lot of rust around his boots whenever he was starting the season, and it seems like he's really starting to kind of shape up. And what sucks though is like they're not in sync. Like it seems like him and like he and Barco are not in sync with one another, and nobody seems to be in sync with one another up there. And I can't remember who tweeted this out. It might have been Payson. That we look most dangerous with like play Bello at the 10, like because
just let him go crazy. Yeah.
We do look very dangerous, and it might be a confusion thing. It might be like chaos, like bringing and alternating those players, and nobody expecting to see Bello up the middle. I don't know if they were man marking. I doubt
Dude, it's not just Bello. It's our difference. Like we were talking about a game changer sub. Who is that if not Jake Mulroney right now? My God, dude. He comes in yesterday, and that leads to basically the only 3 viable chances that Atlanta United has all game is based off of his distribution from the left side.
Yeah. Jake Mulroney has really done a pretty decent job coming on for a sub for us. One thing I do remember, there was that, maybe we were playing Chicago and he had those few little step overs. He had a really nice bit of skill. It was a really cool highlight video. And his reaction was, and it happened really fast. And his reaction was, I didn't know what was happening. Like, it just happened. That concerns me because I think it doesn't, he's the far better soccer player than I am. And I can't even dream of the skill that he has. But it seems like he doesn't really know how to do that. It was kind of dumb luck that happened. But then you compare it with Marcelino Moreno this weekend. He did another nice bit of highlight skill, but it looked like it was intentional. It wasn't like so frenetic. It was like pacing. He pulled it back, dropped it on his other foot, and then was able to pass it off. But I think, I don't know, Marcelino Moreno is really growing on me right now. I'm annoyed with the diving. I want that to just stop and guys to just get ahead. But yeah, Jake Mulroney has been a great depth piece. And I hope, and that seems to be where we need it right now, is the wing. So we can, especially up, the right and left wing spots, because Eric Lopez hasn't been able to tie it down yet. Although he's a project. I mean, he came in as a project. I think he's got some decent potential. But yeah, Jake's been great. I mean, Anton Walks has been fantastic. Stephen Perales in the chat was saying, I'm just hoping Franco could help make a strong 3-man back line with more time. And I am hopeful. I want Alan Franco to succeed. I want him to be our third DP, because I think that having those 3 strong back lines to push Sosa further up the field, I think that's going to be beneficial, especially with Ibarra being injured, with Hyman out for the season, and now Ibarra with his hamstring. Though I don't think we've had an update on his availability for the future yet.
No, I don't think there's anything about the severity of it. I don't think anybody knows yet, right? Like, he's still I don't know if he's undergoing scans or anything like that to figure out what's going on there. But Yeah. Go
I
ahead.
will say Franco's first 5 minutes were really, really shaky.
He
Yeah.
got absolutely torched by what's his name, Felipe. Like I was like, ugh, this is not good. Like,
No.
Yeah,
So, but he settled in a little bit more after that. He ends up getting a foot on the ball. I think they had it over on the right edge of the box, and he ends up coming up with a big stop there to prevent Ross from coming in whenever Red Bulls were kind of charging down the field. But yeah, it's just going to take some time and some more play time. You know, and unfortunately, I don't think we really have much voice right now, but to bring in the lineup with the amount of injuries at the times, and he should be able to make the change, and hopefully, whenever he's in the lineup on a consistent basis, maybe the back line isn't having to adjust what he's had to in recent weeks, where he's coming in late. So,
sorry, you're breaking up really bad. Is it breaking up today?
I think we're breaking up unless I'm speaking there. Are you good?
You're both breaking up. I'm fine, but you're on my end. But you guys are breaking up to me.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, I guess it's just, on brand for the podcast and Atlanta United right now.
I think we're getting the front office can't take criticism.
Yeah, we're getting swatted by the Atlanta United front office.
Yeah, that's definitely it.
Everyone is robot.
Yeah, I don't know if this is just a streaming issue in general.
That's why we need to be recording in person again. Oh, it's not even real.
Sorry, guys.
I don't even know. I'm going to check YouTube. Oh, yeah. On YouTube, I'm completely frozen. That's great. Sam and I both are looking good. T-Bane, yeah. I love the stripper. She poppin', she rollin', she grindin' that pole.
Are we still cutting up? Yeah, you guys are real mashed together.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan's good. Richard Gordon said Dan is good. Tim and Kevin are breaking up big time. Okay. Well, someone's got to take it over. All right, time for the download. All right, Chicago. Yikes. They are terrible. They are fourth from nothing. They are last place. They're last place in the East, last place in everything. Their record right now, they have 1 win. They have 2 draws, 7 losses. So, it's all going in Atlanta United's favor. So we've met 9 times. Chicago won 4, we've won 5. And interestingly enough, Atlanta have only won once on the road in Chicago, and that was a 2-1 win. I think Barco and Martinez got those goals. So they are pretty weak. They are. Let's talk some positives about them. So they've got great. Well, the first positive is their rebrand. I thought was fantastic. I really like their away jerseys. It's got those nice little blue lines on the white shirts, nice and clean, nice and crisp. Apparently, not very popular on Twitter. People don't like it when the white kits, but I really like it. I like the sky blue trefoil or whatever the little 4-leaf clover they've got going on with the red sea. I think it looks really sweet. I don't care if it looks like the Cubs because they're from Chicago. It's part of their identity. Everybody knows the Cubs. I'm not worried about that. So they're pretty good at one of their strengths. Their biggest strength, I guess, is their set pieces. I mean, when you've got such a team that's so bad, you want to have those set pieces to kind of go about you really well. But, you're only going to be good attacking in those attacking forays on a set piece. They like to steal the ball from the opposition. They're going to be attacking down the wings. So interesting enough, as we've seen on many sort of heat maps and charts, I know Toyota Football put out Atlanta United's passing and heat map. That quadrant, I think it's 15, or it's right in front of the 18, and we just basically avoid it. It's like there's a force field around it. So we are very strong down the wings. That's where all our play goes from. That's just what Atlanta United's identity is. And if Chicago are looking to do that down the wings as well, they're going to run into a pretty good roadblock, because we have a much more pacey, a lot more speed in Lennon and Bello. So I'm hoping we can do some good damage to them down those wings. And like I said, set pieces, they're good at shooting direct free kicks. Now, their weaknesses, they're not great in offside. They're not great at possessing the ball. I expect to see another high possession from Atlanta United. They're not great at defending against attacks down the wings. Excellent point for Atlanta United. Defending against through ball attacks, we've seen a lot of those through balls, but good Lord, if our guys can stay on our feet, then we could be in for a feast here. I think someone on Twitter was saying that if Joseph Martinez had been playing with us against Red Bulls, he potentially could have had a hat trick, because we had some pretty decent chances there. It's just Kubo just couldn't convert. God bless him. So I could see, and as Venezuela have been, they've fallen out of the Combo Bowl championship, so that's great. So we should hopefully have Joseph Martinez back in the lineup, depending on the COVID restrictions and re-entry. So I know he's probably, because the way things are going, he's probably not going to be available. So I don't know. Could we start Jackson Conway? That would be great. So they're really bad at finishing scoring chances. They're not great against defending skillful players. Both of those we have. I don't care what you're saying. Moreno and Barco are both very skillful players. And I think arguably you could say the same for Eric Lopez and Jake Mulroney, to a lesser extent than the first two. And they're not great at avoiding individual errors. So if you compound those things, that they're not great at defending skillful players, avoiding individual errors, hopefully we can, maybe get a red card out of it. It's going to help a lot. Or we're going to be playing against a bunker, which has proven very difficult for Atlanta United in the past, just anyway. So I'm pretty confident about this one. I think that we should get a 2-0. I know it's the dreaded 2-0 score. We've given up those leads in a few games, which has not been great or pretty if we can stay switched on. I would like to see Alan Franco start in this one. I think he did, other than his mistake when he first came on, I thought he did pretty well in the middle. I think we could see a back three of Miles, Franco, and Walks. We push in Souza up the field. Then you've got Lennon and Bello on the wings. You're probably going to keep Moreno, Barco, and either Mulroney or Lopez on the right. And then the great debate whether you're going to start Kubo or Conway. I think I think Heinz is going to go with Kubo. As much as we don't want it and we all want to see something different, I think that he needs to be the guy I think Heinz is going to stick with him, because I guess he feels more comfortable. And I'm assuming that because he's just in that position within the team during training, it seems like that he's the guy who's getting the looks from Heinz. But hopefully Conway can do something in training to prove to Heinz that he can come in and at least have get a goal out of that. I think he could do that a lot. So I guess if I'm still
a robot, Dan.
Yeah, you're still like a robot, Tim. Brittany S. Miles scoring his first MLS goal. I think that would be a good shout. I want to see Miles score a goal so bad. I feel like he's been fleeced out of so many opportunities, whether it's from the post or whether it's from the opposing teams knocking them in for him. So Max plays games, never mind, no quarantine required. Oh, well, that's great. Doug Robinson just reported that they are cleared to return to the team, but I believe he has to quarantine. So I'm assuming he has to quarantine from the team. Maybe that's... So he's gone through the federal tape. Okay, so is that just an MLS thing or a Atlanta United thing, maybe? Stephen Prowler said, just don't see how we can keep going with Kubo up top. Conway. Up to Heinze to see it. Yeah. I mean, obviously, of course, it's going to be up to Heinze. But I think it's funny that these people on Twitter, Doug's getting irritated on Twitter. I think this might be the year that Doug just hangs it up. He's so over the fan base. And he keeps on saying, like, I told you before. I told you kids before. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be Heinze's decision to figure out whether he wants Kubo or Conway. I think my issue with Kubo, and I wanted to give him a fair shake again this game, because just to see what am I missing? What am I missing here? And it seems like he does have a high work rate, but only within 5 to 6 feet of himself. So if the ball's coming to him, he's going to try his damnedest to get that ball, whether it means he ends up on the ground. But if the ball's played a little bit too heavy, he's just not going to be able to get to it, which is so frustrating. But I guess he has the experience. But that's the thing is, Conway, he's going to run at balls. He's going to go running for whatever he can get. But I guess if really that defensive error against Philadelphia, which allowed the Glesnes goal, is really going to be the thing that harms Conway's credibility with Heinze, I feel like that's a little shallow. I mean, the guy scored a wonder goal. Yes, Conway should have closed him down, but you gotta give him a fair shake. How you guys doing? Are you guys up to speed now?
Am I a robot still?
Yeah. Yep. Brent Crawford, Doug is so pissy these days, constantly bitching about answers from Heinze and lack of access. Yeah, well, I mean, Doug's not a geriatric millennial like some of us here. So he wants to be in person, and he does not like dealing with the virtual stuff. I don't blame him. I mean, you've spent, 25, 30 years of your career being in person, and then you've got to change the computers, which, it's not, we all grew up with computers. We know how to use them, but I can totally get his frustration with that. Max plays games. Never look at my Twitter. I've been nothing but positive about this team, I promise. I am sure you have. Yes, I am on AT&T fiber. And I've got a hardwired connection because Wi-Fi is for the birds, and you don't get gig speed out of Wi-Fi. You only get it for a hardwired connection. So, Kendrick Brock, I also feel like Doug still really doesn't get soccer. I thought that at the beginning. I think he does. He just seems so adamant in his opinion, and nothing seems to sway him until he sees it. He has to see to believe. Oh, well. All right, so I've got some questions for everyone. I'm just going to go off-brand because these two idiots can't get it together. There must be Netherlands fans. Watch England lose like 5-0 tomorrow. All right, so people in the trap. What's your opinion on people who are disconnecting from the team? It seems like a lot of people are stating that they don't want to renew season tickets. They're not even able to give away their tickets to the games. I mean, I know this is a very difficult time for the team to go through. We've had confidence shaken with the front office, not just with the signings that they've made. But I think the article from Felipe really kind of rocked at least my confidence with them. And now I'm kind of second guessing. Well, yes, they maybe should have done that, but we are just kind of guessing on what actually goes down and how decisions are made. Brian Crawford, Dan, where's the joy in seeing Mbappe blow the game today? So I like the French team. I like Mbappe. I like Pogba. I was disappointed to see them, but man, Switzerland, they played a beautiful game. They did really, really well. And all those penalties were absolutely fantastic. It was just Mbappe missing his. I felt bad for the guy. He's going to be the fall guy, but it's incredibly difficult to win the World Cup and then win the Euros as well. I think Spain are the only ones who have done it. So, as soon as you're the favorite, then your target's on your back and everyone wants to beat you. So, yeah, I mean, I like it when big teams get upset, except for England. But I don't know. I'm really nervous about the game tomorrow. England, Germany. I read an article from Barney Roney, and he was saying how Germany are not England's rivals because England have sucked ever since the World Cup that they won in '66, and Germany have won like 7 to 10 championships. So, and Portugal have won championships, France have, Italy have. So really, when you're looking at teams in Europe, England are really, they're just kind of like a little yappy puppy right now compared to the the other main players in France. In Europe. Brittany, yes, Grealish better start. I hope so. I hope Grealish wants to play with everyone. Yeah, and Sancho. I thought they played really well. Grealish and Sancho played well against, was it the Czechs? I think it was the Czechs. Yeah, we won 1-0. Yeah, he did pretty good. I'd like to see that again. I hope that they don't fall into the same trap like in the 90s when you'd have Scholes, Ferdinand against Lampard and Gerrard, and they're all just irritated at each other because they play for different teams in the Premier League. I kind of thought there was a little bit of that creeping in, but I'm praying that doesn't happen because that's just going to be the downfall and just England repeating itself. All right, so anyway, let's me do predictions before I wrap up the show. So whatever the score is, we'll just tell Kevin he got it wrong because he won't remember and he never listens back to the podcast anyway. So, playing Chicago, Kevin is saying 2-1, but if it ends up being 2-1, we'll just say he guessed 3-1. So just everyone be cool with that. Oh, Tim got a point and Dan got a point this week. How many points did Kevin get? Didn't even get to brag. Too bad. All right. All right. Anthony Neitzel, 1-0 Atlanta. Moreno goal. I like you, Anthony. I like you a lot. I'm hopeful. I want to see Moreno succeed. 1-0 for him. Home before dark. I'm assuming that's Tim. Tim's saying 3-3, so I guess he's just, pulling numbers out of a hat. Kendrick Brock, 2-0 to Chicago. Ooh, that would... Oh, man. I think that would be the nadir of the season, Kendrick. A Dirty Bird person saying 1-1. Kevin Bradley saying Lennon and Barco score. So, Tim, who are you saying scores the 3 goals? Richard Gordon saying 2-0 Atlanta. Dirty Bird person saying 3-3 is for the Euroregs. Man, those games today were insane. Insane. I love it when you have high-scoring games like that, especially in Euros. All right, Tim saying Moreno. Lennon and Barco. I said 2-0 and I'm going to go with Moreno and Bello. Bello's overdue, mate. Going to crack one in. It's going to be a volley as well. It's going to be nice. It's going to be real nice. Probably come from an assist from Moreno. I think Moreno's going to go on those runs. He'll have listened to this pod and said, okay, Dan, that's a good point. I should keep running, because I felt like there was a couple of times against Red Bulls where I could have been away and I should have just gone for it, and I didn't. And I'm sorry, Dan. It's okay. And it's okay. It's okay, Marcelino. You're okay. You just keep running. Just whack it in the box. You've got a big old switch. They're terrible on the wings anyway. You should kill them. So go down there. I think Moreno might do it all by himself, actually. Let's go with that. And then Bello's going to take a switch from Lennon and just volley it in. It's going to be beautiful. It's almost going to be as aggressive as the first goal he scored. Brittany, yes, I don't think Joseph plays. I don't think he plays either. And someone check for me in the trap quick if Sosa is suspended due to yellow cards. I'm going to go in there quickly now and tap on Sosa. He got a yellow over the weekend. Play profile. It's Korea. How we doing now? Atlanta United. It's not going to show me. I'm going to have to go here, which is really annoying. But, it's all right. Let's see some stats. That's CONCACAF Champions League. All right. Anyone in the trap got that? No, he's got one more. Thank you, Kendrick. Okay. Hopefully he stays out of that, because that's going to be real crap. No Sosa, no Ibarra, no Hindman. That's going to be a terrible day. So, okay, the De Boer effect. Yep, man. Get a red card for legit on the key players. Yeah, that's terrible. That is terrible. All right, y'all. So thanks for getting your scores in. I appreciate y'all. Thanks. You're welcome that I managed to get rid of Tim and Kevin and finally taking this on the road all by myself. It's going to be a maximum amount of danger. Look, Tim's trying to get in for the beginning. Look, come on. I'm about to close this down, Tim. All right. You can find me at DNJMS. Or if you want to get on the Peloton, have a little ride together. We'll do a scenic ride together. We can explore Iceland. It's Iceland. Yeah, funny. England. Right. We can do that. Also, you can find Tim at, at Herbs Majorum Cumin. Doing woodwork. That's right. He does woodwork on Instagram. Tim, I think it's Tim Woodworker Tim. Woodworker Tim Instagram. And you can find Kevin on Baldhead Arby's on Twitter. And I think he still has his MySpace active. Yeah, great. So awesome. I hope you guys do well. I hope Atlanta United please get a win this weekend. I just would have to log off Twitter because there's so many people just throwing stuff at the wall. I know. I can't get angry about this anymore. I've spent so much emotion pouring into sports, being an England fan and everything. All that emotion, just slamming it up a wall. It's a waste of energy. So I would appreciate some positivity. And I appreciate positivity anyway. Lol, Dan never closes. Well, serves you right, Richard. All right, I'm going now. Bye.